Hey, welcome to Getting Real with Réal, where we ask the question, do we want it or are we just talking about it? We get raw, real, authentic, and brutally honest so that we can become the best version of ourselves. Welcome back to Getting Real with Réal, where we ask the question, do you want it? This is Coach Réal, of course. And today, I'm actually doing a series a little different for a while. With this whole pandemic thing, it was really put on my heart that I want to support the local small businesses. So I'm going out, I'm interviewing different small businesses, finding out who they are, why they're different, what their passions are, so that we can go out and support our local business. So with that said, if you're a local business out there and you're listening to this, a local small business, reach out to me, message me. I'd love to have you on my podcast so we can promote your business. So with that said, our special guest today is a champion Patrick Coffin from Island Technologies here in Santa Clarita, California. And I'm excited to, introduce you to him. This is one of the very few true family businesses, as you're about to hear. Him, his wife, his kids, everybody. So with that, let's check it out.
So, hey, Patrick, how you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks for inviting me. This is great.
No, I'm grateful to be here with you. So, you tell us a little bit about yourself, Patrick. Where you come from, your family. Give us a little background.
Oh, well, born and raised here in San Fernando Valley. Met my wife in high school at North Hollywood High, so we're definitely all from California. Got three grown kids. They're still living at home, but I've got my two older sons and my daughter, and I have two grandkids, which I love and adore. The two little girls, they're great. So yeah, I've been a computer consultant from early on. I was that kid in Radio Shack, typing away on the computer and coming up with programs and such. So probably late 80s, I was consulting and started off. It wasn't my plan, but I worked for UCLA for about 5 years, learned a lot of telecommunications, and then went on to helping start 4 different Apple dealerships. So we were heavy in the computer support and solutions. So had some large scale clients and a lot of small mom and pops, and have been able to. My most recent company is Island. That's what we're probably here to talk today about. And Island's about 21 years old now, so we've been going strong. We have a strong staff, about 20 people that keep our clients keep us pretty busy, which is great. And so we're excited. So we do all scopes. But yeah, I mean, that's as far as me and myself. It's me and my wife Lisa, and she's my partner here in the company, and she runs the business side, and I run everything else. So keeping everybody happy. So.
Wow, so I love that. So it's a family business, and I didn't know that's a family business you and your wife do together. So was it the two of you that started this 21 years ago?
Yeah,
Wow, wow.
And two of my boys work for me here as well. One does a lot of the SEO work, another one does a lot of the operations.
Wow, I did not know it. Now that is a rarity, a family business, and that excites me because the old days of where the kids grow up and want to do what dad did or mom did and follow in their footsteps and go on to carry on the legacy is far and few between. So that's really cool. So now what is your specialties, would you say?
I think my specialties is business process and communications. I mean, I've been heavily in the Mac field, but do all levels of Windows, Mac, and Linux, because everything that Island has become is because of our clients. So we were an email host before Island. So back in the late 90s, we started doing email hosting and web hosting, and that was out of frustration of dealing with companies like Earthlink back then, and a lot of the companies that were doing that they're very frustrating to deal with. And we ended up finding it was easier for us to do the hosting. So we've been an email and web host for over 20 years. So what does that mean? It means we pretty much can take care of a company to give them a solution that's tailored to them. And nowadays there's Office 365 and a lot of the big players and Gmail and stuff, and we ride right alongside with them and make the decision for the client what's best for you. And so sometimes it's Office 365, sometimes it's our hosted solution, but we're also in in multiple data centers. So I kind of have to know it all. So my specialty is very much coming into a client and really assessing their needs and speaking to them on terms that they can understand, which is, I think, a big confusion in the IT world, that you start throwing acronyms at people and they're just like, where's it? Just give me a checkbook and make it go away, you know, and I don't do that. I pretty much talk to them and let them understand how that one computer in the back office could actually be leveraged for something instead of having to just go buy a whole new one. I'm not a big person to replace everything with just buy something new and that'll fix it. There's a lot of different solution options out there.
You know, and I love that you brought that up, because it's one of the things when I first met you, you know, I loved about you. I mean, you know, I was ready to just spend some money, get a computer, and I still need one, by the way. I think it's time. I think it's time for a laptop. But I really appreciated that, you know, you weren't there to just sell me something. We actually walked away. You spent some time with me, and you know, it was really an amazing experience. And you know, so for the people that are listening to this or watching this, so. Because on the outside, it sounds like you're doing all this big stuff, but it's not just big things, right? You do the little guy all the way up to the big guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. My clientele has been from large, high-profile clientele to where we have address books that, you know, we have access to everybody that's out there, down to somebody just trying to run their business out of their home. We have Fortune 500. We have State of Iowa is one of our clients, for example. We have CSUN as a client. So we maintain a big spectrum, and that really has played well, because I've had clients that have been really small and have grown to be very large. You know, guide them on the path without the managing that budget and letting them realize if they spend it here, it should turn into something like that. So we were successful in helping companies guide and not just spend money and throwing dollars at a problem.
That's awesome. Now, Patrick, what would you say? Because, you know, there's other companies out there like you in our neighborhood. And, you know, we're specifically talking about Valencia here, Santa Clarita, Newhall, that area. So how are you different? Why should people, you know, come to you than the other companies?
I think, well, one, they come to me because of most of our business is referral. We're not we don't do advertising. We're starting to do more because we're actually growing, and we want to be able to sustain our staff workload that we have and such, but it's always been word of mouth. So that word of mouth has been because we protect our clients, we protect their data, and I come in with a top-down approach. It's kind of like if they're saying there's something wrong with their network, well, that could be completely open-ended of what the problem is. So we come with a top-down approach and assess, is the main infrastructure, is the cabling secure? Is the network equipment secure? Is the power secure? And when I say secure, I mean they're functionally working properly. Then there's a whole security aspect on top of that. But as far as being able to give them the wherewithal, what picture it is. So a few of our clients, I've come in and do an assessment of what they have, give them a document that they can walk away with that shows them this is what you have and here's our recommendations, and whether you use this or not, that's up to you. Commonly they do, and we're able to come in and make those changes, and they see the value in getting it done, and not just, you know, oh, we just need to take over all your services and be done. It's very most of our clients go back 30 years. We have a long-standing, our clients only 20 years. I've been doing this a long time, so I have a lot of client base that they don't go away. If they do fetch away, they usually come back because we take care of them. We get with, you know, white glove service. So.
Well, you know, I love that you mentioned assessment and going, because I just had a thought. Well, I was thinking about this before, but, you know, we're going to do this if you're down, and then we'll do part 2 of this because it'd be really cool. So I'm going to, and correct me if I'm wrong. So I have a website, you know, and like most people over the years, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars trying to get the right website, and everybody tells you, oh, we know SEO and we know that, and we're going to do all that stuff. And I haven't seen it. So I would be curious, you know, after this, I want to give you I'll give you my website. I want to have you guys go over it and, you know, do what you do. Tell me where you're seeing it's good or bad or whatever, and then have you guys fix it and get it up, and we'll do like a little assessment and show how you took me from A to Z. What do you think? We'll do a little fun like that test.
That'd be great. We love doing it. I love doing that, and having the A/B test of, you know, what was before and what's after, and how those changes can make a difference.
Yeah, because what I love to see is because I trust you, and I love to see because I think the person did a good job. I mean, aesthetically, on the outside, it looks good, but I know that's not what's important. Are people finding it and blah blah blah? So I'd be curious to see because they told me that they were the SEO experts and that this is optimized and all of that. And I'm getting ready to go into back in. My people know I do a show at General Hospital. I'm getting to go back. I'm relaunching my podcast, and my website is the mothership. And so I'm curious. I'm excited to see that. So let me ask you a couple questions, other questions. Let's change gears for a second,
Okay.
because that's why we're here. Tell us how this pandemic thing, how do you feel about it? How's it affecting your business? Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, I think going back to early March, because that's when it really, late February, early March, it really hit. Probably the biggest hit was because we have multiple departments. We have our web department, our IT department. They kind of went because the IT went directly up because now every one of our clients is like, I have to work from home. A lot of our clients had the infrastructure in place, and working from home wasn't hard. We had to basically turn on the VPN that they needed to start using, which is a way for them to connect remotely from home and leave the servers at the office and still not miss a beat. So there were some clients that they had some pain points. They had to do some upgrades. We had a lot of router installations in March. That was a lot of scrambling for our clients. On the web side, because of the way the websites work, it's usually project based, and so nobody would make any decisions, right? So it really we had ongoing work that we were doing, but no new approvals were coming through. So we had to fare through that, which we did. On but on the IT side, we were able to pretty much overnight, we were set up. So we pretty much, my staff was all working from home. So there was no real pain point there because we are already very much engaged and know all the tools. It's our clients that don't know the tools and what they now to switch to, like what's Zoom and what's, it was an easy grab for us, but it was a training point for some of our clients to get them up to speed. It was fairly painful painless, I should say, for the most part. And then going into April and June, that's when all the, everybody's scrambling for the PPP money and what they're doing. And there was clients were starting to realize that this is kind of a quiet period, that a lot of them looked internally how to optimize their own business. They looked at their own websites, they looked at their own processes that they had and what wasn't working, and actually started investing in, while everybody's quiet, not looking, let's change our stuff. Let's get these things we're trying to get done. So we got an upkick in the website and some of the IT stuff to get them up to speed. So it's kind of cool to see that and talk with the businesses and how they can do. That's where they they come to me to talk about their business. That's what I come into companies. I'm not one to talk at you. I'm going to learn every aspect of your business because I'm going to change your processes if they need it. Well, I tell clients from point, you have a process that goes from A to Z. And I'm going to assess every step of the way, and maybe A through F are perfect. D, G, H, and I need to change. The other ones need to be replaced, and then everything else is fine. So we start to, and in doing that, I learn their business commonly sometimes better than they know themselves, because they're about the sale, about getting that client, their client taken. I'm about their process and that it's smooth and waking them up. So we do elaborate diagrams and drawings that really call out the problems. And then we can assess what it needs to change those problems or change those into solutions.
So you mentioned, and I know this, so as we know, I'm an actor, but I'm also very passionate about health and wellness, and I do it through a network marketing platform. And we talked a little bit about this, and now with this pandemic, working from home, like you said, is a big, so you help those people too, in terms of, in network marketing, obviously, we're not walking out and talking to people right now. So
No.
We need to get leads other ways. We need to get, out there and social media and whatever. Yeah. And is that, you help people with that kind of stuff as well?
Yeah, I mean, our SEO department is growing. SEO has always been a mixed bag for me, in the sense of, I felt a lot of people got ripped off a lot. So I think it's blatant. I think a lot of people know it.
Hello, I'm one of them.
Exactly, and I'm, again, when I you become my client, I'm your advocate. I do not want to spend your money unless it has to be spent. So looking at the SEO side of it and seeing, we were burned. We had engaged with others that and had burned our clients, and and again, it goes back to back in the early days when we took on email web. It's because there should be a solution. Somebody can do this, and they couldn't. So we internalized it. We actually created a plan. We created a program. We created a process that internally we could help a client with SEO. But along the way, is we step them through the process. Why am I spending this much money? How is that going to turn around? Because it's a risk, and most SEO signups are like, you need to commit with me for 6 months, and you won't see anything until the end of that. So, I mean, who wants to sign on to that? Mm-hmm. We've changed the model to be where we step you along the way. So there's every 3 or 4 weeks you'll have a meeting, which should be that's about what the results were of the effort and where we're going to do the next step. But there's all these little micro meetings which is very much about the budget. I want you to spend more on these keywords. I want you to allocate more to this budget. Or we need to pull back up, but you can't do that if you do it every month. You have to do it every couple of days. You sprinkle it out there, work and add it's more sprinkle on that, and get it going and pull back. So it allows the client to be engaged in the results immediately, and then they see the big results at the checkpoints of those stand-ups.
Awesome. So, and that ROI is important. So a couple more, some fun questions. So tell us, what's something nobody would know about Patrick?
Oh, geez. Well, something nobody will love me. Well, I know I did actually Barbizon model for a day for when I was really young. I had all my modeling shots done. I actually got a gig. It got canceled on me. They paid me for the gig, and then I never did another thing. So that was an interesting step there. What other? I'm trying to think another something else.
I would have never. That's how I started my career, as a model in Toronto. So I know it all too well. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. So tell me, who is your favorite superhero?
Oh, Spider-Man's a given. Yeah.
Okay. And so what about if you could be a superhero, what would be your superpower and how would you make a difference in the world with it?
I think very much taking care of if family can be brought into it. I think the family environment is huge. I think it's be able to ensure that you and your own, whether they're family or your close friends, that there's ways that you can help them out. So not necessarily monetarily, but actually just to be there and support and be an advocate to give the right advice, that old school advice because I think there's a lot of assumptions out there and nobody talks about things. And I think the ability to have another perspective that's an honest, raw, will tell you like it is and not worry about the reputation. That's, I do that. I try and do that with family to let them know, not necessarily feelings, but like common sense.
It's interesting, as you heard the introduction to my show, I love how you said honest, real, and raw, because that's kind of what my show is all about. And so how do people find you?
Like I said, it's word of mouth. I'm not, I've been doing this for a very long time. I have a lot of high profile actors and actresses that rely on me. So I get leads from them. As far as our business, it's very much, we've been doing this for so long that when we get a referral from somebody, it's usually a warm referral that they trust, that they know that I think I can help them.
And warm is good, but specifically, I mean, like, what's your address? Do you have a website, a phone number? But how do people get in touch?
Yeah. The best way to get a hold of me is our website is www.islandtechnologies plural.net.
Okay.
And it's patrick@islandtechnologies.net is my email. Our phone number at the office is 818-832-2310. And we just I think you should be able to find me on the net, like up Island Technologies.
Well, I would hope so, right? Because that's your specialty.
Exactly.
Awesome. So, hey, Patrick, thank you very much for spending some time, guys. This is something I'm really, really passionate about. Let's support our small businesses out there, guys. They really need our help right now. Patrick, what I love about Patrick, I didn't know it before this call, is the family, man. And, there's so many families out there struggling and businesses out there struggling. As we go into this second round here in California, being shot down again, it's really, really on my heart. I mean, how are these businesses going to survive? I mean, I haven't heard yet of a second round of PPPs or, unemployment. So there's one way, instead of just talking about it, guys, there's a way we can make a difference. And the way we can make a difference is support our local small businesses. So once again, this is Coach Réal with Getting Real with Réal, where we ask the question, do we want it? Or are we just talking about it? Like Patrick said, we get raw, real, authentic, and brutally honest so we can be the best version of ourselves. Once again, Patrick, I appreciate you. It's been great spending some time with you, and I look forward to you going through my website. I'm going to give you that address after this. We'll talk about that, and we're going to come back and do part number 2, champions, and we're going to find out, was Coach ripped off again?
Right?
And how can I improve it? I have a feeling I was. And the bigger thing, Patrick, because I know you talk about what I'm excited about is, like I said, I think I have a pretty aesthetic website. I like how it looks, but I don't really care about that. But I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm in there every day. I'm doing YouTube things. I'm trying to figure out how do I load this podcast up and make sure I have the SEO. So I'm excited about that too, because I need some help with that. That is not my expertise. So once again, appreciate you, Patrick. Appreciate you for listening. I'll believe in you till you believe in yourself. Make sure that you subscribe to my podcast. Leave a comment and remark at Apple Podcasts. It really helps to move our podcast up and more people can hear about it. I appreciate you sharing this with your friends, and I will see you on the next episode. Boom!
Well, there you have it, champions. This is Coach Réal, and I'm excited, guys. Let's just go out there and support our local small businesses. And once again, if you're listening to this, you're a small business, reach out to me, message me. It would be my honor to have you on this podcast and let people know about you and how they can find you. So once again, guys, thanks for listening. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram at realandrews.com. Leave a comment, like, and raise up this podcast on Apple Podcasts. Share it with your friends. I'll believe in you till you believe in yourself. Make the rest of the day the best of the day. God bless. Boom!